is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds.
That Bud was the best. I got to give it to him. Bud the best, but he hands down. He the best. He the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him his respect no matter what. You got to give him his respect. He just went up 2 weight classes what people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do.
I've been a world champion, as you know, and I've been a 3-division world champion. But I've only won 1 of the belts. I don't know what it is to be undisputed. I don't know that feeling. Do you understand? What he did last night is unbelievable.
Stephen A. Smith recently addressed Floyd Mayweather Jr. as criticisms of Terence Crawford following Crawford's victory over Canelo Alvarez. Smith highlighted that Crawford accomplished something historic, pointing out that only a handful of fighters remain undefeated while capturing championships across multiple weight categories, though he argued that Crawford's achievements demand global acknowledgement and should be celebrated rather than questioned. Smith stressed that defeating Canelo was more than a routine win. It was a pivotal moment that firmly placed Crawford among the sport's all-time elite. He concluded by affirming that no comments from Mayweather could take away from the impact of Crawford's extraordinary performance.
Best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds. Claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance.
Jeff Mayweather expressed a strong reaction to Terence Crawford's upset victory over Canelo Alvarez, stating that this defeat will remain a defining part of Canelo's legacy, though he noted that Canelo had long positioned himself as the undisputed leader of his division, confident in his control over all challengers. Yet, he was convincingly beaten by a fighter who moved up in weight to take him on in his own territory. Jeff emphasized that this wasn't just a minor setback, it's a historical moment that will be permanently linked to Canelo's name. He added that fans tend to remember the key defining moments of a champion's prime. And in his view, the most enduring image of Canelo will be the clear and decisive loss of Crawford.
Either way, he was in discussion certainly with Chavez. What does this do to his legacy? Because I don't think he got, the Floyd fight didn't give him, people didn't really look down on, because he was, even though he had 40 fights, he was still, fighting one of the greatest ever in an absolute master. And Bivol, he went up weight classes to win. But now he's fighting a smaller guy, a great fighter, but a smaller guy. Does this damage his legacy in any way?
I think it does. I think it does because, the one thing is that, you were ruling, you were the king of that weight class. And the king of that weight class for a good while. And I think that, he had a huge following because, he became the face of boxing.
And even though it's another, future Hall of Famer, still losing a guy come up a couple weight classes, kind of makes you seem not as great as you might have been.
Stephen A. Smith admitted he was genuinely astonished by Terence Crawford's triumph and openly expressed his deep respect for the fighter. He explained that witnessing such a monumental moment in person made Crawford's accomplishment feel even more significant and real. Smith highlighted that Crawford has a unique place in boxing history, moving up in weight to convincingly defeat a dominant champion like Canelo Alvarez. He described this victory as a defining moment of Crawford's career, the performance that set him apart from all his contemporaries, though he also noted that this night would be remembered for years to come, framing it not as just another fight, but as a pivotal event that reshaped how true greatness is measured in the sport.
Terence Bud Crawford moving up 2 weight divisions, really 3 in my mind, because we only fought 1 fight at the junior middleweight division. So he's really moving up from 147 pounds, okay? Terence Bud Crawford moving up to the 168-pound limit in an effort to claim the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world from the grasp of Saul Canelo Alvarez. Now I was there. Because let me tell you something right now. There's very, very few sporting events in the world that are better than a super fight in Vegas. I can tell you that right now. There's very, very few events. Props to Nick Khan of the WWE.
Terence Crawford's trainer emphasized that following this fight, his fighter has nothing more to prove. He stated that Crawford has reached a level of greatness that should be universally recognized, even though some critics still hesitate to give him full credit. The trainer noted that this ongoing skepticism highlights how Crawford continues to face external narratives, despite having defeated one of boxing's top stars. Crawford's manager added that there is currently no focus on scheduling another fight, as his achievement against Canelo Alvarez has already cemented his place in history at this point in his career. Crawford is no longer chasing high-profile opponents. Instead, he is focused on solidifying a legacy that cannot be rewritten.
Terence Crawford and his well-renowned trainer, two-time trainer of the year and future Hall of Fame trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, recently did an interview in which Bomac stated that a fight is not happening. And this particular fight is a fight that everybody wanted to see Canelo Alvarez take, and Canelo Alvarez refused to take this fight with a 28-year-old two-division world champion, reigning WBC light heavyweight, former two-time WBC super middleweight, the Mexican Ecuadorian superstar boxer, who's one of my favorite fighters and a great person, David, the Mexican Ecuadorian monster Benavidez, who has 30 wins, no loss, no draw, 24 wins by way of knockout, stands at 6'2" with a 75-inch arm reach and fights at 175. But the entire time David Benavidez was fighting at 168, Canelo Alvarez was brought up and he never accepted the fight. And so with that said, now people are trying to project this fight on Terence Crawford. And they're saying that Terence Crawford needs to take the fight. So Bomac yesterday did an interview and Bomac said they're not fighting David Benavidez. And so now people are pushing this notion that Terence Crawford is ducking and Terence Crawford is scared of David Benavidez. And if he don't fight David Benavidez, according to Boxing News 24,
Timothy Bradley spoke with confidence while praising Terence Crawford, even drawing comparisons to Floyd Mayweather Jr. He stated that Crawford now deserves a spot at the very top of any all-time boxing list. Bradley explained that defeating Canelo Alvarez wasn't just another major victory. It redefined what it means to be the pound-for-pound number one. While he acknowledged Mayweather's mastery during his era, Bradley argued that Crawford demonstrated he could reach an even higher level by overcoming Canelo while the Mexican champion was still at his prime, in Bradley's view. This performance elevated Crawford to the ranks of boxing's greatest legends.
Too late now. It might be too late, because guess what? He done. Ain't nothing else he needs to do. Ain't nothing else he needs to do in boxing. Yep, y'all doubt him now? Y'all doubt him now? I saw some of y'all goofies on y'all channels. You come here and you get the real over here. That's what you get over here. You want the real? You want a real breakdown from a real fighter, a Hall of Famer? That's what you do. You come right here and you gonna get the real and you gonna get the truth. Dang it, that's what you gonna get. Leave them other lames alone and come right on over here. Yeah, and get the truth and nothing but the truth. I've been trying to tell y'all for years about this. Been trying to tell y'all for years about Terence Crawford. Everybody put his resume.
Roy Jones Jr. offered a measured perspective, noting that when Terence Crawford faced Canelo Alvarez, both fighters were at the peak of their abilities. Unlike when Floyd Mayweather Jr. fought Canelo years earlier, he explained that Mayweather faced a younger, less experienced Canelo, which allowed him to rely on superior skill and ring intelligence to dominate the matchup. By contrast, when Crawford entered the ring, Canelo had already ruled the division for years, fully matured and battle-tested. Despite Crawford being the smaller fighter, even so, Crawford systematically broke him down and controlled the pace of the fight. Jones emphasized that this context makes Crawford's accomplishment even more extraordinary, as he defeated a stronger, wiser, and more refined version of Canelo than the one Mayweather faced.
generational great in Canelo Alvarez, really 3 weights above his natural weight class. Does that put him in the conversation with the likes of yourself as the greatest fighter of all time?
Yes, it does. And the reason it does is because he couldn't get the credibility down in his own weight class, so he went up to go challenge himself to find it. And he found a very formidable, good opponent.
Do you think Canelo Alvarez is on the decline or not?
No, I don't think it's on decline at all.
So you think both fighters are still at their peak, even though they're 36, 37?
Yeah, I think they're both still at their peak. The age for Crawford would seem like he may be beyond it, but he hasn't had the fights, the tough fights we have put him there. And the years of boxing for Canelo would have put him in a position where they're about equal. So I think they both are pretty much in a great place. I think they're both still in their primes, and this is the best time to see them fight.
Duke McKenzie said he was completely amazed by what unfolded in the ring. He explained that Terence Crawford's relentless pressure, lightning fast speed, and nearly flawless execution left Canelo Alvarez with no answers. McKenzie described the performance as one of the most complete displays he has seen in modern boxing, calling it both exceptional and rare. He stressed that Crawford didn't just neutralize the threat. He proved himself extremely difficult to beat, even against elite-level opponents. From McKenzie's perspective, Crawford has set a new standard that very few fighters will ever reach, and he spoke with genuine admiration and deep respect for the display he witnessed.
That feeling, do you understand? What he did last night is unbelievable. He's a 3-time undisputed world champion, and he's beaten the best of the best. Now, for me, there were red flags way before this fight, not way before the fight, in the build-up to this fight. Canelo's body language in the run-up to this fight, he turned up in Vegas in his stretch limo, in his Armani suit. He's had his kids and his wife in the back of the car, and he's got out and he's strolling around like he owns the gaff. Now, that all that signified to me was a very comfortable man. He was too comfortable, and Terence Crawford just kept it real from the outset. Tracksuit, no nonsense, went there to win, said what he was going to do, told the world what he was going to do long before the fight. I think he asked for this fight many years ago. The discussion he had with Bill Haney, and I think it was him that actually suggested call out Canelo, which he laughed at the beginning, but then it came to fruition, and now it's come to fruition. I mean, what you saw in that fight yesterday, what I watched in that fight yesterday, it was for the purists. It really was, because you really have to try and understand boxing and know what you're looking at. It was the feints. It was the way that he handled the bigger man. It was the little feints, the little side steps, the little flicking with the jabs, hitting him with the head and the body, the little combinations, the little 2s and 3s, and also with Crawford knowing how to close a round, knowing how to win round.
Robert Garcia presented a compelling argument for Terence Crawford's greatness, asserting that this achievement surpassed anything Floyd Mayweather Jr. had done. Garcia noted that Crawford dominated Canelo Alvarez throughout most of the fight, likely winning 9 or 10 rounds, while displaying a hunger that pushed him to take significant risks. He pointed out that Mayweather never opted to challenge a naturally larger champion in such a bold way, making Crawford's triumph both rare and remarkable. According to Garcia, this moment was about more than titles or statistics. It was a demonstration of courage and ambition, showing that true legends distinguish themselves by taking daring risks and succeeding on the sport's biggest stages.